Hello, everyone. This is Rick, and in this video, I would like to share some thoughts about my article titled "Josh Butler Isn't Done Talking About God and Sex Yet." It was published on April 20th, 2023 by Baptist News Global. So Josh Butler, as you may remember, wrote a book called Beautiful Union, where the Gospel Coalition ended up taking an excerpt from it and putting it into an article, and they have endorsed it, called it the magnum opus of sexuality that we've been waiting for. And a lot of people were really praising it, related to with the Keller Center and elsewhere. And then people read the article and it was extremely problematic. And so, but then there was a backlash that came out, and everybody was wondering, why did these people endorse this book? And then we started hearing that a lot of the endorsers were saying that they actually never read the book. So I read the book and decided to listen to the podcast that he went on with Preston Sprinkle, and read another article recently that he did as well. And something that they kept saying, defenders of Josh Butler in this kept saying, was that the reader, simply need more context. So at first, the Gospel Coalition gave the full chapter, and they thought that if you just read the full chapter, you'd understand why he said the controversial things he did. It would make more sense, but that didn't help. And then they were like, well, you just need to read the book, which of course means you have to buy the book. And so basically, and that was the same approach that they took on the podcast episode with Preston Sprinkle as well, is if you just bought the book and read the whole thing, then it makes so much more sense. And so then he ended up releasing a new article about contraception with Christopher West, the Catholic theologian, a couple weeks ago. And so as people kept reading more and hearing more from Josh Butler, it still wasn't setting well. And Beth Falker Jones, Beth Allison Barr, Beth Moore, and Sheila Gregoire, apparently the one evangelical woman who's not named Beth here, wrote responses on Twitter, and they were just saying, this, we've heard enough. Like, we're done hearing about these rivers, and we don't need to hear about these analogies anymore. And these are creating very deep very problematic power dynamics for people, for women especially. So anyway, in his book Beautiful Union, what he does is he utilizes the metaphors in the Bible about watering the land to bring life as a way of making an icon out of male orgasms being facilitated by women. In the most blunt way, that's basically what it comes to. And yet, when I look at the Hebrew Bible in particular, what I'm seeing is that the metaphors of land and water and life, they're not about sacralizing male genitalia and sexual pleasure. They were about Israel processing their own wound of exile from their land, and longing to live in their own land. And so, ironically, these images that the biblical authors use as a way of processing their exile, Josh Butler is now using in a way that produces exile for everyone. And in my article, I talk specifically about women and LGBTQ people, and basically anybody who's not in a heterosexual monogamous marriage, how it exiles you from your body. And so this is one of those books that many people know about, but don't want to spend money on, and don't want to actually read themselves, may not have the stomach to read, and that's totally fine. And so I decided to take one for the team and shared my thoughts about it in my latest article.